Welcome back to the Fulton County Gospel News Podcast. My name is Barry Odell, and I am your host. Fulton County Gospel News is a bi-monthly publication of the Church of Christ in Mammoth Spring, Arkansas. And if you'd like to learn more about our paper, visit our website, mammothspringchurchofchrist.com, and you can learn all about it there. And if you'd like to receive the paper, it is, of course, free of charge. You can receive it as a PDF in your email, or you can receive a hard copy through the United States Postal Service. Just get a hold of us. You can call us, send us an email, hit us up on Facebook, however you'd like to do that. Let us know what you would like, and we'll be happy to add you to one of our mail lists. So today's going to be a bit of a shorter episode. It's going to be a straightforward article reading from the August 1993 edition of the Fulton County Gospel News, and the title of the article is, If the Bible is Not a Divine Pattern, and it was written by Max Patterson. Now, this article addresses a very important topic, and it is just that, the concept of a pattern. We know that there are many in Christendom who deny the concept of pattern theology and what some have decided to term precision obedience, the concept being, well, you can't precisely obey God. I really don't know what that means. If you can't precisely obey God, then how do you obey God at all? Anyway, that's just me thinking. So here we go. Here's the article. If the Bible is not a divine pattern. There are some among us that are saying there is no divine blueprint or pattern in the Bible for us today. If this is true, consider the following. Number 1. Hold fast the form, pattern, of sound words which you have heard of me. 2 Timothy 1:13. If there is no pattern, how could one do this? Number 2. And the things that you have heard of me among many witnesses, the same you commit to faithful men, who will be able to teach others also. 2 Timothy 2:2. If there is no divine blueprint, how can one do this? Number 3. Prove all things, hold fast to that which is good. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. How can one do that if there is no pattern? Number 4. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try, or test, the spirits whether they are of God. 1 John 4:1. How is it possible to obey this verse in any way if there is no divine blueprint? Number 5. If you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed. John 8:31. If there is no pattern, how could one know if or when one is continuing, abiding or dwelling, in his word? Number 6. He that rejects me and receives not my words has one that judges him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. John 12:48. If the word of God makes no demands, or shows no pattern to be followed, how can God condemn that person who did not follow in the day of judgment? Number 7. Earnestly contend for the faith. Jude 3. How can one do this if one cannot decide what that objective standard is? Paul said he wrote, whereby when you read, you may understand my knowledge in the mystery of Christ. Ephesians 3:3 and 4. Paul obviously thought we could understand. In fact, that is the very reason he wrote, in order that we might understand. To deny that there is a pattern or blueprint is to try to absolve man of any responsibility to faithful obedience. Paul was thankful to God for the Romans who had obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine, the plan of salvation or the plan of redemption, which was delivered you. Being then made free from sin, you became the servants of righteousness. Romans 6:17 and 18. So this article was written in 1993 about a pattern or a form of doctrine to follow, and sadly, nearly 30 years later, we're still having to deal with the same issue. Folks denying the reality of a pattern or a type or a form of doctrine to follow, and for too many people, Christianity is a better felt than told religion. If we're going to be a disciple of Jesus, we need to continue faithfully in His words, and we need to abide faithfully in the apostles' doctrine. Acts 2 and verse 42, and that can only be found in the pages of the New Testament. Well, I know this is a very short episode, but I think that article hits what needs to be hit and addresses an issue that we always need to be aware of. There is a pattern in the New Testament. So I appreciate you listening today to this edition of the Fulton County Gospel News podcast. Again, if you've not done so, subscribe to our Podbean channel, and you can interact with each episode and get notifications when a new one comes out. If you want the paper, visit our website, mammothspringchurchofchrist.com, and get a hold of us, and we'll be happy to add you to one of our lists. Thanks again for listening today, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Fulton County Gospel News podcast.